So let's look at some exam questions about identities. The first one is this one. This is from spring 2007 paper 1, and question 3 over there. It says, prove the identity 1 minus 10 square of x over 1 plus 10 square of x is equivalent to 1 minus 2 sine square of x. Let's go there very quickly, and this is it. As you can see, I already solved it. It can be done in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. All right. As you are doing this, ensure that in each step you are dealing with one thing, because if you are doing more than one thing in each step, the examiner may think that you have missed steps. All right. What do I mean with this? You will always have a certain number of points. On this one, it would be 4 points. So there are 4 check marks that the examiner needs to see over here. If you do a bunch of things from one step to the other, the examiner might miss the fact that you know what you are doing. All right. What is the problem here? You already know what the result ought to be. Okay. So let's say that you go even before dealing with the question itself. Let's go that you go from here to this step altogether. You know that this should be the final answer, right? But you are not proving that you know this thing over here. You know what I mean? Another way for you to ensure that you have all the credit, and I've seen this in different places. I particularly don't use it because it takes more time. But if you want to ensure that you are going to be credited all the marks, you solve the identity on the left hand side. So you don't follow a line like I did over here. You follow a column. And here on the right hand side, you just write down the rule that you used. Okay, let's look at this one and I'll let you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm starting with a fraction and I'm ending up with 2 terms. Okay, none of them have tangent. So it's obvious that you have to get rid of this tangent, and you get rid of tangents by equaling them to sine over cosine. Okay, so that is the first thing that I wrote over here. Okay, not forgetting that the tens are squared. All right. So another way of doing this would be writing this down underneath and writing here on the right hand side that tan of x equals sine over cosine. You just wrote down the rule. Okay. Then I have to get rid of this one, so I have to put all of this as a single fraction and all of this as a single fraction. All right. So same denominators, and this will become cosine square of x over cosine square of x minus sine square of x over cosine square of x. So in this case, I just combine these two things and I put this already as a single fraction. Did the same over here. And now I see that if I do the tire rule, this times this over this times this, you're going to have cosine square of x on both sides of the fraction. So I already cut them out. Okay, there is no rule that you are applying here, trigonometric rule. You are just using plain algebra. So you end up with what? You end up with this stuff over this stuff, and this is what? This is just 1. So if you would write now this underneath, you would put here the rule cosine sine square of theta plus cosine square of theta equals 1, or x in this case, doesn't matter, equals 1, right? And now what do you have? This is not what you want yet. You don't have anything with cosine on your final answer, so you have to get rid of that. How do you do that? You know that cosine square of x equals 1 minus sine square of x. That's what I wrote over here. Okay, and now I have everything in terms of sine square of x, and I'll reach the final answer. Okay, let's look at another one. This is from what? From 2008, October, November, paper 1, and question 2. 1 plus sine of x over cosine of x plus cosine of x over 1 plus sine of x is equivalent to 2 over cosine of x. Again, you start with two fractions and you have to end up with 1. So you have to combine this somehow, all right? And the rule is always the same in the previous questions. I already solved a few of these examples. So on this fraction, you have to multiply top and bottom by that. On this fraction, you have to multiply top and bottom by that. That's what I did from here to here. Don't forget that your first step should always be just rewriting what you have here on the left-hand side. Okay? So getting the same denominator. And you have here 1 plus sine of x, you have here 1 plus sine of x. So this is basically 1 plus sine of x squared. Okay? From here to here, I just expanded that. And then I'm going to have here on this side sine square of x plus cosine square of x. And I know that this is 1. All right? And what do I have now? I have 2 plus 2 sine square of x, so I can factorize that 2. And that's going to be 2, open brackets, 1 plus sine of x, which is one of the factors that you have in the denominator. So you can cut this factor, the whole thing altogether, and you end up with what you wanted. See? Just applying those two rules, always keeping an eye to the thing that you want, and eventually, with enough practice, you will know already what to do as you are solving. Trust me. Next one and last one. This is from a June 2009 paper 1. Question 1. Sine of x over 1 plus sine of x minus sine of x over 1 plus sine of x equals to tan square of x. So start by rewriting that, getting the same denominator. This is always the same, all right? And don't forget that a minus b times a plus b, that's a squared minus b squared, okay? So I just apply that rule that you should know for a long time, and then this is what you'll get in the denominator. I just expanded the brackets. I have here one term that is sine of x. I have here one term that is minus sine of x, so they cancel each other out. Sine square of x plus sine square of x, that's 2 sine square of x over cosine square of x. This is going to be tan square of x.